In this video, we're going to be discussing how you would install and seal a box miter. These are a little bit easier option than the strip miter, just as far as you don't have to cut the corner pre-ready, you just cut it flat, and then you can add this in there. Also, if you're short a little bit, this is a lot more wiggle room for air than the strip miter does. In this example, we're going to be using black zip screws on the white gutter, just so you guys can see it a little bit better. And yeah, let's get started. So you're gonna have your gutter run coming out on the end of the house. Should be about a 1/4 inch short right here and a 1/4 inch short right here for the fascia. And the reason for that is to allow this piece to slide in there easier. Also, when you do this, you wanna make sure that these hangers are at least 6 to 10 inches away from this corner, because what happens is if you get too close, it'll be too tight and you won't be able to slide this in there. Same thing with the strip miter, same thing with this box miter, or any bay windows. Anything where you're gonna be adding a corner or a miter, you want to make sure that your hangers are about 6 inches away. And sometimes it's even easier if you don't screw this in all the way and you just leave it a little bit loose. And then once you put the miter in, then you screw it in. But this allows you to get it on there straight and make sure the gutter's, perfectly aligned. Because when you don't screw this one in, sometimes it might be veering out a bit and then you might mess up your miter. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're gonna do is take your box miter, and you can see there's an opening right here. So we're gonna place it in there and we're gonna carefully push up like this. All right, and before we get to the top, you can see that this has a little ridge inside of here, and it actually fits over the top of this one and fits over the top of this one. So we're gonna go ahead and put it like that. We're gonna go ahead and put this one like that, all right? And then we're gonna push this up all the way, making sure we get it as tight as possible, all right? And we're gonna clip these over for the meantime, all right? Put those two over like that, okay? So now we have the box miter on there, and now we're gonna go ahead and add our screws in there, our zip screws, so it stays secure. I'm gonna move this camera angle so you guys can see a little bit better. Actually, I'll add the first two, and then I'm gonna move the camera. So first one's gonna go right here, and when you put this first one in, you wanna make sure that you're pushing up on this box miter from the bottom to get it as tight as possible. So you also wanna make sure that you're not too far this way, because you wanna still go into the gutter as well as the box miter in one screw. So we're gonna go ahead and add this screw in here. And you can see I'm pushing up with my left hand right here. Sorry, you guys can't see that actually. I'm pushing up with my left hand down here as I screw this one. And before I screw it, that way it allows it to tighten up this gap on the bottom. All right. Next, we're gonna add our zip screw over here. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna move over here so you guys see. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our zip screw on this opposite side. Same thing, we're gonna take our hand down here and we're gonna push up on this gutter to allow it to be as tight as possible on that seam. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our zip screw again. All right, like that. Now I'm gonna move the camera to show the next ones. All right, these next two screws are gonna go on this front lip right here. You wanna make sure that you're not too far this way or not too far this way. So go about 3/8 to 1/2 inch in. And what that does is it tightens up this gap right here. And then we're gonna go on this other side, and we're gonna add one in the same exact spot. Turn this a bit. Make sure we push up on this, get it tight in there. And you wanna make sure, like I said, you wanna make sure you're about 1/2 inch in this way, 1/2 inch to 3/8 in this way. So that way you're not missing anything. So you guys can see that this is tight over here and that's tight down there. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our last two screws in. So, all right, our next two screws, we're gonna put one in right here and then one in on the opposite side. So we'll start with this one. Like I said, yeah, make sure this is tight. And then we're gonna put the screw in right here, about a 1/4 inch from the side. About 1/2 inch from the side. All right, add one there. And we're gonna take our 6th and final screw and same spot as the other side. Tighten that one up, all right? And now we're ready to seal. All right, we're gonna go ahead and seal these up. Before I seal it, I'm gonna show you guys something. So you can see here that the puncture from the screw is here, as well as over here. And these are perfectly in line. So if you look, they're gonna match up perfectly flush this way. And that's very important because you wanna make sure that when the customer sees the screw, they're not over here, over here, over here. They're perfectly in line with both sides this way and this way. And when we seal, we're gonna be sealing three points. And it's very important that we do 3 because otherwise we'll for sure have a leak. We're gonna cover all of these screws, okay? So this one, this puncture, and then this puncture over here. I know you guys can't see that, but over there, those two screws. And then we're gonna be covering this screw and this screw, as well as filling in this seam, okay? So this seam right here, all the way up, and then this seam all the way down, all the way to the lip of the gutter, all the way up this one. And then I know it doesn't seem like it, but when these box miters come made, they aren't a very good seal, so we have to add some sealant in up here, down here, and then up the face of this turn. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this one over here so you can see first this right one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add some sealant to the top right there. Make sure we cover this screw good. All right, add enough. You always want to make sure you add more than enough. You don't want to be coming back to do any jobs. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and seal this right here. Same thing, line it up. All right, make sure we got enough, and then we're going to put some over this screw point, making sure that it's touching all the way down there, and then on this screw point. All right, and then after, you can go ahead and make sure you got everything sealed. Make sure you drag it off this way so it doesn't clog up. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next one. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take care of this side. Start up here at the top again, put some down, run it along this line. Make sure you got it all spread in there. All right, then we're going to go down this seam. Right here. Go ahead and cover our screws. You got it fully covered. All right, same thing with this one. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and seal this middle portion. So we're gonna put a decent amount on here, and when you put it on the top, it falls down slowly. So you kind of want to put some on the top more, and then use less as you go down. All right, cover that seam up. Make sure you get this corner. Go all the way up the face of this corner. All right, and then you can take a look after and go, okay, is there anywhere that I missed? Any spots that I could touch up, or anything that you think is going to be a weak point? So we're going to take our finger and we're going to actually bead this in right here. These points, all of these, bead these down just to give it a smooth finish so the water doesn't creep underneath there. Same thing with all these points up here, right here. Okay, these ones. Okay, and then if you want to take your finger and do the same with up here, just spread that in a little bit on the outside. And look at this one over here. All right, and that is about it. So your box miter should look something like this afterwards. It doesn't look the cleanest, but I can assure you that their gutter will stay sealed properly. And yep, that's it for this video.